And now it's off to Sydney to look at a remarkable cultivating technique called deep stem planting, where the plants go in much deeper than usual. It was pioneered by a chap called Bill Hicks, and Angus has found a dedicated disciple in Megan King.
Now, Megan, for years I've been teaching people that they must plant a shrub like this at the same level as it was in the pot. You do something different.
I do, Angus. Since Bill Hicks developed long stem planting, I've been experimenting with that method, and I'll show you what I'll do with this grevillea. I'll put it in a hole like that. Now, obviously the deeper the better as far as I'm concerned, but if you can't get your shovel down deep, then anything above that soil line is going to improve the survival rate and the growth rate on that plant. And then all I do is push the soil in around it.
Now, all my instincts would tell me that that plant is going to die from cholera rot within a few weeks.
Absolutely, Angus, and the first time I saw this done, I was aghast. I thought there's no way that that plant can survive, it's surely going to die. But surprisingly, this will outperform anything planted using the traditional method. And then, just to add insult to injury, we'll push all the mulch up around it as well.
Oh, up around the stem.
Up around the stem, because obviously, shock horror, because obviously if you've just half buried the plant, it's a bit ridiculous being precious about where your mulch is touching the remaining part of the plant.
Megan's planted fully 3/4 of that grevillea. She did the same to some jasmines about a year ago, and it really shows why the long stem planting method works so well.
Well, have a look at that, Angus. That tells a story, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
This one's been planted 3/4 of it under the ground. That one's been planted traditionally. And have a look at the difference in the root growth on the two plants.
Yeah, so every node that is producing leaves and stem up here, on this one, it's been producing roots.
That's exactly right. And in fact, you can even see here on a part of the root ball that this is where part of the plant has had its stem buried. And you can see all of these beautiful roots coming off that.
Taking up water.
Everything here has to survive on rainfall. We don't water the garden at all. So this is a really important technique for us because it saves a lot of plants, it gives us better growth, and they're a lot more resilient. Hot summer, this one got burnt back and is close to death. These are all thriving.
Megan has an extensive garden over 1 hectare in size, nestled in a valley with at least 1 metre deep of organically enriched loamy soil. Have you used this deep planting method on everything?
On just about everything you can see, Angus. So things like the begonia, the salvias, fuchsias, lavenders, and certainly a lot of the native plants as well. Mm-hmm. So we've put in banksias, hakeas, westringia, just about everything I've planted. Even if I don't put it in as deep as the grevillea that we planted, I'm putting it in below the pot level. Mm-hmm. And the results have been the same no matter what I plant. Everything thrives, everything grows better.
Megan doesn't normally water in, but plants in the wettest months of the year and doesn't fertilise until the plants are well established. Is there anything that hasn't worked?
No. Sometimes I have things that when I plant them as cuttings, they might fail one time, but then they'll be successful another time.
Right.
I've also had lots of success growing trees using this method. So the magnolia, the crepe myrtle, the maples, all of those have been put in below ground level. And in fact, just about every tree on the property that we've planted, we've used this method. And lately we've been experimenting with cuttings. So I'll show you something with this lavender. I'm just going to strip off the bottom leaves, take the top off it. Mm-hmm. If you hang on to that for me. Now, just push that into there as far down as you can get it. The deeper the better. Yep. If it won't go straight in, put it in at an angle, that's fine. There we go, that's planted. Now, if you come over here, here's some that I put in using that method 2 months ago.
Wow.
So after 8 weeks, that's the kind of growth you can expect. It's a wonderful method when you're transplanting. You get a lot less transplant shock and a much higher survival rate.
It's incredible.
It is. It's one of those things that you find hard to believe until you start trying it. You start trying it and then you get a bit hooked, and now everything goes in below ground level.